Grabando, FENCast grabando. Otro episodio del mes de la historia de la mujer 2020, donde las entrevistas primordialmente son a mujeres artistas con pequeños negocios o mujeres que me han inspirado de alguna manera u otra. Ahora mismo en vía telefónica tengo a dear friend, someone I consider a baby sister, directamente desde los US of A, pero originalmente de Aguadilla, a la querida Hilda, Hilda Pérez.
Pendejo. Saludos.
Ahora, ¿te gustó esa?
That was much better than the debacle that you had earlier. No, but I'm honored to be on here and that you consider me somebody inspiring.
You are. De hecho, cuando va a haber una pregunta que quizá es la que más me inspira de ti. Pero, let's start off. I've known you for how many years now? Como maybe 7 o algo así.
Must have been maybe 2012, maybe.
Algo así, right?
Por ahí. Yeah.
So nos conocimos en el colegio where you studied French. Y cuéntame why French and how that has helped you into what you do now.
Primero entré al colegio estudiando química y después del primer año dije, no me interesa. Estar en el laboratorio fastidiando ahí no me interesó, así que I think it's pretty funny the way I ended up studying French. Es que literalmente cogí la lista de los cursos que el colegio ofrecía and I looked and I narrowed it down to three different bachilleratos y escogí el de lengua y literatura francesa porque dije, that's like the most different thing I've seen on here, the most appealing or most interesting and the weirdest, honestly. And I thought, like, nobody studies this, so maybe I could get an advantage with it and I could learn another language on the way. So, así fue que escogí ese bachillerato and me gradué en el 2015. Funnily enough, I was the only one of my degree in that graduation. So, I don't know, that says a few things, but anyways. Y nada, I'm a U.S. Customs and Border Protection Officer. I'm currently located in Derby Line, Vermont, which borders the Canadian border, specifically the Quebec province. Y one of the languages that are the main languages that are spoken there is French. So I have to deal with a lot of French-speaking travelers, Canadians, the Quebecois, or there's a lot of Canadian immigrants from, for example, from Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, or actual French. And it really helps with, speaking with the travelers and helping processing them. And it kind of gives me an edge, at least where I'm located. So it's been really helpful, believe it or not, having studied, that degree.
Got you. So, your job is a very demanding job, and it's also a very historically male-dominated job. So, tell me about your determination, discipline towards attaining said job, and how you've created your own path in such position.
Well, I guess I'll start with the whole application process. Back then, it was kind of difficult, I'd say, and it would take a long time. It took me about 2 years to finally get hired. So it starts off with the testing, the written test, and an interview and a video-based test where you have to watch certain scenarios and you have to respond, and hopefully you respond correctly. And then physical tests, medical tests, the polygraph, which is I think the hardest part of the whole application process, where you have to subject yourself to all kinds of questions, and it's really nerve-wracking. And that's where the large majority of people fail out in the application process. So starting from there, it's pretty rigorous. After you get hired, you spend at least when I started, a month where you're going to work at, just getting all the paperwork and some online courses done before you get sent to a 18-week training academy in Georgia. And that was difficult for me because I lived in Puerto Rico my entire life, and then now I'm just completely uprooting myself and, going to the United States, to the continental U.S., and just being on my own for the first time. So that was pretty difficult, and, plus the training, and plus being I know one of the topics that you want to talk about is about being in a job where it's mainly known to men.
Yeah.
Like being occupied by men. So my training class, we were 41, and out of the 41, 8 of us were women. And the majority of the instructors were men. So, that has its own challenges. You have to prove yourself that you can be, equal or better than your other the other trainees in the class, and you have to prove yourself. Thankfully, where I'm currently located in my port, yes, they're mainly men, but I've had really rare incidents where I've had to deal with any kind of sexism. But I have really good coworkers, and I'm really grateful for the kind of people that work alongside me every day. I think I answered your question, hopefully.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay.
So, another thing that really inspires me about you is your determination and discipline when trying to achieve a goal. So, talk to me about where you got that from and how you apply it every day.
It all started since I was a little girl. I've always had in my mind that I had to make my parents proud and make them happy, and I can't fail them. And so I did absolutely everything I could to do so, work my butt off in school and get all A's, and I did all kinds of sports, and I did well in them, and I wanted to please my parents and make them happy. It's always been like that since day one, and I've told myself that basically that's the only way you can be successful. You have to put all the work and earn it on your own. I didn't want anything handed down to me. I mean, sure, I thankfully had a family or a childhood, a life where I didn't know me faltaba nada. But,
Mm-hmm.
My parents were able to provide everything they could for me, but I didn't want to tampoco abusar de eso. I did my part, in my role as a child, I believe, to make my parents proud. So I just wanted to earn everything that I had, and that still applies today. I've done really well in my job. I've earned respect among my coworkers and among my bosses, and it's been really good for me so far. Most recently I was able to get certified as a field training officer, so now I can officially train other officers, to get them out of their training status and graduate them to be, a fully certified officer.
Nice.
And then before that, I was for 4 months I was a temporary supervisor, so that was nice of a challenge to be just going from being just a regular officer to supervising, the officers that were currently working on my shift. And, that had its pros and cons. But, I mean, it was a really enriching experience. So that's some of the things that I've done through hard work.
Of course. Otra cosa that I admire about you a lot is your adulting.
Okay.
Super adulting. Like.
Pero what makes you think I'm super adulting?
Bueno, I'll ponerlo así. A lot of people our age, they don't have a house or a car to their name. And that to me is like super adulting.
Okay.
Sin embargo, through hard work, you have managed to do that. So,
yeah.
Talk to me about, or give me some, adulting and maybe some tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks? Well, I mean, I can't, obviously you need to make money to buy a house. I mean, at least on your own. I mean, that's one of the sad realities, I guess. I mean, considering that I bought it last year at the age of, 25? Was it? Yeah, 25, 24? 24. Buying a house out on my own, it takes time and determination and hard work, like you've mentioned before, and just be good with your savings. Make sure that, like, I have, keep more than one account for, like, all the bills that you have to pay, and then, keep some on the side for whatever expenses you want to do that satisfy you, besides bills, and then have another account for savings, just purely savings. Don't touch that ever. So yeah, a portion of whatever you receive in your paycheck, make sure it's a big portion that you save aside, and that's what's gonna at least help you purchasing a home or a vehicle. Keep good credit. Don't be a jackass. You have to be responsible. You can't just think that everything is just gonna happen naturally. No, you have to just be vigilant of all the things you do. But yeah, I'm pretty proud about myself to having been able, to provide my own home, and it's also, at least in my location, it was a smart thing to do, because I was staying in a 2-bed, 2-bathroom apartment, and it was $1,000 rent, and it didn't include anything. Like, it didn't include water, furniture, electricity, nothing. So, and then they wanted to raise my rent, and I was like, fuck that. Like, I can buy a house and save money. So that's what I did. Now they wanted to raise my rent to, I think, $1,200, and now my mortgage, including taxes and everything, is $1,000. So now it's all to my advantage. I don't have to worry about noisy neighbors upstairs or downstairs, or, it's my house. I can do whatever the hell I want to do with it. So it's pros and cons. Exactly. You have to deliberate there.
And that is adulting with Hilda.
Bien básico, pero sí.
Exacto. But now into lighter topics. Something that both you and I connected with in the past was, por lo menos, I write poetry on the daily a cada rato, pero tú también escribes poesía. So, or you used to. Well, I don't know if you still do.
Yeah, it's something I have to admit that ever since, I left, and, I started this job, and se me ha quitado bastante de eso, desafortunadamente. I don't know. I guess I've just been in this weird phase, que también, es que el trabajo también, it takes a lot of time, because sure, I work minimum 40-hour weeks, pero a veces está el overtime, and sometimes that just takes up your whole day, your whole week.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you're tired, and como que uno no está motivado para hacer cosas así. But I've told myself recently I'm going to start reading more and try to get back to the mentality that I had back home or back when I was in college estudiando literatura. So I'm trying to get there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I used to write some stuff. Should get back to it.
How did that help you grow as a person?
Well, it helps because you're doing introspection and you reflect on things that are part of you. It's just how do I say it challenges you mentally on what you want to say, on how you feel, and getting that out of the system, and maybe just like certain topics that are meaningful to you or close to you or people that surround you, and just expanding on it. And well, that helps you grow as a person. It makes you get out of the box and just be what's the word? Just cognizant of yourself and others. So, I think it's something really important to do if you haven't done so. Just, do the introspection and express it, write it down so you can elaborate on it and make it sound pretty too,
Exacto.
That's what I think about it.
Gotcha. Recently he notado que, yo no sé si antes tenía más esa pasión, pero recently la he visto más. Passion for beauty products. So,
el Instagram.
Exacto. Talk to me about that.
It really expanded once I started making money and I can afford buying all kinds of nonsense, all kinds of makeup. Yeah, because shit's not cheap,
Oh, yeah.
It started happening most noticeably maybe 2-3 years ago. I just, me sentaba a ver YouTube y todos los videos de some worthwhile, beauty influencers or YouTubers que también está una cultura bien tóxica. So I'm super picky. I'm super selective of the people, of the videos that I watch. I want people that are straightforward and honest. No están, it's not about the money. It's because if they like what they do. Porque, por ejemplo, está el Patrick Star, que está cundido de dinero, pero no me gusta como persona. So I don't really watch this shit. But in my case, I enjoy playing with it. I like seeing how the effects, the colors and whatever combinations I can make, and it's oddly satisfying to me. Sometimes I don't know, people might think it's really what's the word, I guess, synthetic, or maybe it's not of use. But for many people, and that's what the whole beauty culture is for many, it's just, it does make you feel better. It's maybe satisfying that you're perfecting your techniques of how to apply it, or knowing which products to use depending on your skin type y toda esa jodienda. In the end, you have this nice look which complements whatever you're wearing, and it complements however you're feeling. It depends on how you feel. And for some people, if you're having a really shitty day, te pone un look sencillo, un look bien exagerado, brutal. It might, it might be a good lift up in your life or in your day, and that happens to me. I don't know. I haven't really talked about it much. It's just something I just have fun posting on Instagram. I don't try to do the whole, I'm not trying to be a beauty creator or influencer. It's just I just post shit because I like the products. Y si hay gente que lo ve, pues cool. And that way they have the knowledge of what I feel, of how I interact with the products, and see if that's of any use to them. But it's just a little hobby that I have.
Gotcha. Además de ese hobby, mencionamos que te gustaría volver quizá a poesía y lectura. Is there any other hobbies that you want to practice or practice again?
Practice again? Yeah, I'd like to get back into the poetry and actually write. No, cuando lo hacía solamente era básicamente la poesía y estar leyendo, pero nunca escribía algo más que eso. But I'd like to be able to maybe do short stories. And I know I'm capable of it, that I'm of writing stuff, but it's just I just need to get back to myself and like actually sit down and think about it, get an outline, decide what kind of topics I want to write about. And at least with the life experience that I've been having up here, there is a lot of topics, like que se puede hablar sobre el área donde estoy viviendo, que it's basically all white people. There's not much diversity up here, and that's a personal struggle that I have. Pero, posiblemente difundir de ese tema. That's something I've thought about recently.
Nice. De hecho, ya que mencionas eso, ¿cómo te ha ido el proceso de adaptación a esa área?
Pues, at first it was a huge culture shock because I lived in Puerto Rico my entire life. It's like going from night and day. Y también la manera que como uno me mira aquí, por lo menos en el pueblo donde yo vivo, que it's just a really small town, it's rural. No hay muchas cosas, por ejemplo, solamente hay un McDonald's, Wendy's, el Walmart, un cine de 3 salas, chiquitito, and like local restaurants and stores. And it's a really small population, y rara la vez que yo veo otro hispano por aquí. So, la gente me veía entrar al CVS o al Walmart y me ven con el pelo suelto, la melena que yo tengo, el pelo bien rizo, y se me quedan mirando like if I were like from outer space or something. Y eso me encojonaba. Esa reacción que recibía de la gente, pero ahora como I've been living up here almost 4 years, pues, people know me, so tampoco es que me miran tanto. Pero yeah, it's something that it's really unfortunate that this place isn't diverse, and you don't really get the equal treatment in that way. They see you as something else. Pero it's been hard, but I deal with it, and I don't plan on living here for the rest of my life. I'm just doing my time because in my line of work, it's also difficult to get a transfer, and especially back to Puerto Rico, it's really hard. So I just have to get my time and my seniority, and hope for the best, really. So that's one of the struggles that I've been dealing with.
Gotcha. And now on to a topic that very important for the interview, ya que estamos en el mes de la historia de la mujer. Talk to me about some women that have inspired you in some way. It could be friends, family, artists, professors, colleagues, what have you.
Pues obligado la madre mía and my grandmothers. I'll start con my grandmother from my mom's side. Ella, she was born in 1939. She's 81 now. No, she's gonna be 81 in May. And ella y mi madre y mis padres, like, son varias las personas, pero ella es una de las personas que impartió mucho lo del work ethic and, you know, working hard, because when she was raising my mom and her brothers, she did it on her own, and she had no extremely limited education. She doesn't know how to read, but she was able to, you know, raise my mom and her family on her own. También cuando ella era chiquita, her mom drowned in a river, so she got adopted. It's a pretty tragic life that she's had, you know, at least in her childhood or her young life. So, you know, that shows to me that you really have to work hard if you wanna like go forward, you know, not get stuck in a rut.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let these challenges that keep you back. También mi mamá, you know, coming from that kind of childhood, she, you know, with a really poor childhood, you know, economically, and she had to help my grandmother, you know, with the brothers, ayudando a cocinar y todo eso. Y she left Puerto Rico. I don't remember how old she was, but she was really young. It was before she was 25, and so in her 20s, she went to Pennsylvania. She worked at a factory there, and también lidiando con el hecho que ella no habla inglés. So just Spanish speaking allá, and she made the money that she could. But, you know, ultimately she returned to Puerto Rico, had my brother in her first marriage, and now, I mean, he left her, I mean, you know, raising a child on her own until she finally met my father and then had me. I don't know, those are, to me, very inspiring, because they've had all these challenges and all these setbacks and, you know, their own personal tragedies in their life, and they didn't succumb to them. They overcame them. And I want to be able to have that strength and discipline to overcome whatever challenges come my way.
Gotcha.
That applies to several people in my life, you know, including my father. But like those are some of the women that inspired me and shaped me to be the person I am today. So.
Gotcha. Those are all my questions right now. No sé si quiere hablar de otro tema, or if you're cool with that.
No, adelante, sure. Cuéntame de usted. Yo sé que tú andas creando 20,000 cosas, siempre estás en ese proceso creativo y productivo. What's the latest thing that you've been proud about?
Latest thing I've been proud about, probably just seguir escribiendo without going insane con la academia. Because tú misma sabes mi lucha interna con la academia y trying to be a writer. Como que mantener ese balance siempre ha sido un problema para mí. So yeah, not going insane. That would be the...
Not going insane.
Yeah.
Pero seguir escribiendo. Yeah, that's one of the things that I admire from you, que tú escribes con cojones. And incessantly. And like, I wish I was able to do that when, you know, when I was in that part of my life. Poder hacer eso. Yo era, pues, cuando me inspiraba, cuando tenía algo ahí que tenía que sacar del sistema. Pero... But like the way you do it, I mean, that's just something that inspires me personally. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Algo más que te podría preguntar, which is really cool about you that I really admire. Traveling. You have done quite a lot of traveling. So, talk to me about that and how it has helped you as a person.
Well, I haven't traveled that much. I mean, I try to go home as much as possible, que está difícil at least in my location, I have to drive 2 hours to the nearest airport.
Jesus Christ.
And then it's never a direct flight back home. So it's a pain in the ass to go back home, and it really sucks. But thankfully, I was able to go to France when I was in college, to go to Paris, que hice un curso allá por un mes. Y, I mean, that was really eye-opening and really, a really good experience. Con el trabajo, it opens a lot of doors, and it causes me to travel for whatever trainings or temporary details that I have to do. Lo más reciente fue el training que tuve to be a field training officer. I had to go back to Georgia for about 2 weeks. Other travel, other trainings. It's not like going to a new place, pero cuando pasó lo de María, tuve la oportunidad de ayudar, to be there for aid,
Mm-hmm.
Y tuve allá un mes antes que tenía que volver pues, para acá a Vermont, and that was also really, was a bittersweet experience, because I don't live in Puerto Rico anymore, but going back and seeing the state everything was, it was really a hard experience. But I'm glad that I was able to help, provide, water and food and just help out the community. That was a good thing that I really appreciate that I was able to do through my job. Going to different parts of the United States, it's just make sure you plan for it. You make the time, and you save up for your travel. I mean, if you want to go places, you don't keep yourself from not going. Just make it something part of your life, or not an option, and it just really opens you to different experiences and seeing other cultures. And even if it's not a vastly different culture, it's good to get out of your comfort zone. So I highly encourage it.
Obligado. De hecho, ya que menciona a piece of advice, ¿cuál sería your piece of advice to a little girl who, say, wants to work in your line of work?
Piece of advice to a little girl que quiera hacer esto. Just be headstrong, be determined. Don't be discouraged to do what you want in the way you want it, and just keep your eyes on the prize. I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's really easy to lose track of your goals, especially in a career where it's mainly led by men, and it still has a long way to go for it to adjust to having women in the agency. And so of course that's a challenge. So just try to give your 50 cents on how to do you in the job. Sure, you have to take orders. Sure, you have to. There's a chain of command, and you can't mess with that. But there's always a way where you can get the job done in your own terms, and try not to let other people in your way, saying that you can't do things, you can't do this. I'm older than you, I have more experience, I've been 15 years in the job, stuff like that. Don't let that get in your way. I mean, if you put in the hard work, you will get recognized, and you'll do well. That's what I got.
And that's a perfect way to end it, Mamax. Hardworking. She's hardworking, she's determined, she's disciplined, She's funny. She speaks French. She's gonna get back to write poetry and reading. She's Puerto Rican. She has beautiful hair, a beautiful personality. My baby sister, Hilda, Suilda, Irta, Hilda. Thank you once again, Mamax.
It really was a pleasure. I'm glad that, I'm happy that I was, one of the people that you selected, that I'm honored to think, that I inspire you and I have a place like that in your life. And I had fun.
I have fun too. And yes, you do inspire, ma. You do inspire. Again, thank you, Beba.
Thank you.